Hi there, I'm Alison of Alongside Caregiver Consulting. As a caregiver, have you ever thought about hiring a caregiver consultant? When you do, it's important to think about relationship and trust, as finding the right caregiver consultant for your caregiving journey or coach specific to your needs is very important. I'd love to share an example from my own life, as this was never clearer to me than when I first tried kayaking. Yep, I did. Several years ago, a colleague invited me to join her after work in one of her favorite activities, kayaking on the river. It sounded like such fun, so I was excited to give it a try. After work one day, I went with my colleague and rented a kayak and life jacket from the local kayak club, and we set out. Things were going so good as I headed down to the water, until I realized there was a person on the dock who was not just observing what I was doing, but was talking at me. Yes, at me, not to me. Without me asking for it, he was imparting his wisdom on my obvious lack of kayaking abilities. Little did I know until much later that he'd been a coach for competitive kayakers. It's no wonder he saw my deficits in my kayaking abilities. He was barking orders at me and making me very nervous. I felt intimidated. I was sure I was going to tip the kayak. In fact, he kept telling me, "You're going to tip the kayak." I looked desperately for my friend, but she was down the river, paddling happily away. The coach didn't need to impart his wisdom on her, just me as an anxious newcomer to the sport. Well, I never did tip the kayak, thankfully, but I certainly didn't get very far, and I wanted to get far away from his coaching eyes. I hadn't asked for his help or his guidance. I had just wanted to try something on my own and enjoy seeing all the fun things that my friend told me she saw along the riverbanks. Needless to say, I had no desire to try kayaking ever again. I still thought that a gliding kayak on calm waters looked beautiful, peaceful, tranquil, but I'd resigned myself that this wasn't ever going to be me. All because of a negative experience with a coach offering his advice in a way that didn't work for me. Fast forward several years, and now I live near the water, the ocean this time. I have seen many kayakers paddling skillfully, and I admire them, thinking though that this would never be me, because I don't have the skill. What I do have is a friend who kindly invited both myself and my husband to give kayaking a try. For us, he borrowed a couple of kayaks and arranged to come along with us for our inaugural paddle. I was extremely fearful, with all the memories of my previous kayaking attempt flooding back. But this friend encouraged and supported my efforts. He didn't yell or intimidate me. He was coaching me in a way that worked for me. As the type of support that he offered was not to lead, not to follow or bark orders from the shore, but to come alongside. As I stepped into that kayak, I was super nervous, but I wasn't defeated, and I was soon learning the technique. Before long, I'd figured out my own paddling rhythm, and I kept the kayak steady and afloat. And I found myself enjoying the experience and the scenery. The relationship and trust of my friend's considerate and supportive approach to my situation made all the difference. I felt empowered, believing in myself again. Because of this relationship, I gained new skills and a confidence that I never dreamed possible. A total contrast to my previous experience kayaking, which left me feeling intimidated and disempowered. Knowledge and credentials are definitely important, but what is most important is the ability to relate to your coach or caregiver consultant, to trust them, and feel empowered to learn the skills required as a caregiver or a kayaker. When you're seeking to hire a certified caregiver consultant, it is worth checking out the style of coaching or consulting that works best for you, as you're in this caregiving journey for as long as it takes. For me, I'm now an avid kayaker, thankful for being given a second chance to learn new skills and love a new sport. And now for a treat. Here's a little video footage of that first time out on the ocean, interspersed with a couple of photos taken since that first successful experience with a supportive coach. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope that it helps you seek out the best supportive style in a caregiver consultant that meets your caregiving needs. And I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you won't miss further videos on caregiving. Take care.